hearing aid. You know, you say 1 plus 1 without covering your nose. You say 2. You now use something to block, even your hand. You say 1 plus 1. He's not looking at you. You shouted 1 plus 1. He didn't say anything. And you remove your hand. You know the parent might not know. You say 1 plus 1. Hearing aid. Is that the hearing aid? No. The guy is speech reading. If you give them that hearing aid in that amount, you know the amount of hearing aid. Somebody was telling me hearing aid 750, hearing aid 850, hearing aid 350. They are coming back. Oh. So you should not. It's only when it's beneficial that you say to them, Dr. Oyindoyin, Professor Oyindoyin now, Professor Oyindoyin. It's from him I heard this statement. But tí a bá fi owó ra òyì, ó gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́yàn lójú. Tó bá èèyàn lè fowó ra ẹṣin kó tó máa fowó ra ìyàgò lọ́nà. Yeah, you buy hearing aid. Somebody, oh yeah, go pick any. I've sold the hearing aid that somebody will say, gbogbo tó ń lọ títí mò ń gbọ́ kẹ̀tẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ money. That is, you use yourself, you will be happy. So, next slide, please. Individuals shall maintain timely record. And this thing is very, very important. You know, the conflict we are talking about, I will get to the core message of this presentation. But you know, if you don't have timely record, people can put your hand in a soup. Okay? I have, since I got to Latter Teaching Hospital 2006, I have record of how the patients have been seen since then. Because they will want to come and say, how have you been doing it? Accreditation team will come. They want to see. Like they went to our department now. So you have to take accurate, timely record. The money you are charging for this and all that. Because you might think it's not it is your responsibility to do that. Oh, audiometry, we started with 500 naira. Now it's 3,000 naira. I don't know in some other places. So, next slide. Individual whose professional practice is adversely affected by substance abuse addiction or other health-related conditions are impaired practitioners and shall seek assistance or withdraw from affected areas. You know somebody is having an issue, you can withdraw. You can take care of yourself instead of causing damage to the health sector. Individual who have knowledge that colleague is unable to provide professional, you know your colleague is not capable again. In Africa, you will think you are reporting. It's for the good of that person. Mrs. So, Mr. So, Dr. So cannot do this thing again. There was a time in my workplace, a guy was struggling with, somebody just parked the car, and he's an earth worker, and he went there, he said he's the owner of the car. He opened the car, but people have started, they wanted to be beaten in, and somebody now said he's having an issue. He's having mental illness. You understand? So that person is supposed to be taken good care of. Not that they allow him to be coming regularly to the hospital. What if he does it where they will kill him? That's all. So if you know somebody is not capable again, there is a way you can handle and you say, oh, sir, and he is having an issue. Next slide. The second one, we have just 4. So this is the second one. Principle of ethics 2. Individuals are honored the responsibility to achieve and maintain the highest level of professional competence and performance. Next slide. So, rule of ethics 2 now. Individual who OCCC shall engage only in aspects of professional that are within the scope of their profession. This thing is very, very important. It has happened to me several times. Because, let me read it again. Individuals who hold the certificate of clinical competence shall engage in only aspects of the professions that are within the scope. I think it's okay like that. Or, let me finish it. Professional practice and competence, considering their certification status, education, training, and experience. Sometimes ago, I didn't even know whether I've gotten my PhD. Maybe before 2012. Yes, I got my PhD in 2012. They called me, in the hospital, they know just 2 people, doctors and nurses. Whether you are health record officer, doctor, pharmacist, doctor, everybody, doctor. So they call me doctor because they know where you are going and all that. Dr. Ejo. And that guy is Omonile. ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sáré wá bá wa ṣe CS kan sí ni CS kìí ṣe láì mi lè ṣe ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ wo ẹni yẹn lóyún wa kú kẹ́ẹ̀kan sábà wa gbé jáde because in the Muslim this thing they won't, I don't know whether in Christian they won't bury mo ní àní etí èmi ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kẹ́ẹ̀kan sábà wa là kẹ́ẹ̀ gbé jáde. People will want to put your hand in something you don't do, and you know some people will do it because this is not something you can just butcher and remove it. So look at can you go to the slide again? You stay within the scope of your certification. In fact, let me leave that one and go to the one that is related. I don't know. I know some audiologists that can remove foreign body in the larynx. By training, it might be diploma 6 weeks. I remove in the ear. Somebody was asking me that I am a certified vestibular person. I said, well, the way you painted it as if I've trained for 7 years on it. 5 days certification. Now, some people, they have never removed wax before. And they want to remove foreign body in the nose, and you are an audiologist. What is your concern about nasal issue? Even the one of here, you have a limit. But I know because in some places somebody removed wax 500,000 naira in Abuja. It's a surgeon. Wax to remove, I can remove wax. But it's not that person demanded for 500,000. When you have otargia, ear pain, due secondary to settlement impaction, wax impaction, and I removed it for one guy. He said any amount I want to take, he said he will give me. He's from Oman also. He said he has consulted herbalist and pastor. Another person said he wants to come back next week, just instill oil, I will remove it. When I removed it, the guy was like, So that person, he was relieved. And it's not that the surgeon asked for 500,000. He counted 100,000 in 5 places. I said, take it. I said, God will allow me to see such a person. So we should know our scope. Don't let me dwell too much on that. Next slide. Members who do not hold the certificate of clinical competence, our license, our authorities that do not engage in the provision of clinical service. That is very, very straightforward. Mr. Ojurongbe handle the patient, and the patient look at the way she was doing the speech therapy, and he started taking clients. You don't know people. Individuals in administrative or supervisory role shall not permit their professional staff to provide services. Look at that. Do you know that if you are the wife of the governor and you have one in-law, during the one regime in Ibadan, shooting star, the guy could not play, but because he's an in-law to the governor, one visit him and now go in and a man play. At the control board but because he's an, so you are now the wife of the governor, and you now read your in-law read teacher education. And I say, teaching us to go and be doing that. No. People in administrative or supervisory role should not permit their professional staff to provide services. So you should say, okay, if such person has teacher education and his first degree, if possible, I don't know the requirement. If you want to do speech therapy, go and enroll for masters. If you are allowed in, then you can do that. Individuals shall enhance and refine their professional competence and expertise through engagement in lifelong learning. In fact, that's what we are doing now. I've gained so far. I didn't waste my hours coming from Oshogo to this place. I've gained. So we should engage ourselves in lifelong learning applicable to professional activities. How can you tell me that for the past 2 years you have not attended? You just, when I joined LAUTECH, do you know what I normally do? I will go to work like this without anything as a bachelor, and I will go back home. In fact, my house was so close to the hospital that I can go and cook during the break, working hour. But now I have 2 shuttle bags, laptop, books, and when I now look, I say, there were times that I didn't come with a sheet. You know what? My only thing is just to go to the hospital, just routine, just do PTA and go home. And no, Research as today now I have another that I'll go and put on ResearchGate that we have published another paper. Even as this year 2020 is going on, it's a plus. So I want to appreciate our people for making this to happen. I know I've greeted them. It's so stressful on them, but it's good. Somebody was telling me, 2020 oguni 2020, but I know 2021 will be very good. When we pay for this thing, I was just thinking, when we have gotten it. But thank God we could hold this. Next slide, please. Individuals shall make use of the technology and instrumentation consistent with their certain professional guidelines in the area of their practice. You see now, otoscope, is it applicable to us? Otoscope. Is it applicable? Handheld otoscope. Video otoscope, is it applicable? Who said no? Somebody said no. It's applicable. Do you know video otoscope? I said it before. I said it. We have one in our place. One nurse was saying that he does not have arteria. He has TM perforation. He was arguing. If it is just handheld, you won't see. You cannot see it. You can only see it for somebody else. But with video otoscope, you will plug it there with your laptop, and the woman was looking at the perforated TM. He said, wow. He said he didn't know. He said, it might be a long time ago that he did not heal up. Spatula. Can you use it? Yes, speech therapy, you use it, tongue depressor and all that. So, but I don't know what another is using with Tudicom forceps. What do you want to examine in the nose? But what we are saying is that the technology you are using, hearing aid, who owns it? Is it not our own? They just want to hijack it. I will get to that when I get to the core message of this thing. It's solely for audiologists to dispense hearing aids. I went to somewhere, the guy was selling medicine. Honestly, I can never buy medicine there. It's like they are keeping local idea. It's so dirty, and people are buying paracetamol. You see? And that one, will he call himself? Of course, he's not a pharmacist. I don't know. Is that thing allowed? I just look at it and say, this is a chemist shop. Next slide, please. Individual, okay. Let's move to the third one. It remains only one after this. The principle here is you shall honor the responsibility to the public when advocating for the unmet communication and swallowing needs of the public, and shall provide accurate information involving any aspect of the profession. The rule now. Rule number 1 under this principle 3. Next slide. Individuals shall not misrepresent their credentials. It's like the one we have said before. Forgery. Now, and do you know what I normally do when it comes to this level? I wanted to apply for ABA, American Board of Audiologists. And those people, they displayed it there. I think it was in Tennessee. And I said, so that I don't tell lies. Even my age, I don't tell lie about my age. I just did 45th some months ago. You don't, it's because you want to lie. That's why you are hiding it. And it's because you want to be proud. If you are older than me, Ms. Ojunugbe is older than me. It's the mate of my father, and you will see me using her for me. So I said, please, I have PhD in special education. I like those people. They said, in fact, the way he said, no, that's not big deal. It's not big deal. What we are after is how many years of your working experience. I said, that was 2018. I said, I think 12 years. I said, 12 years, you are overqualified. So what he's saying is for you to be in teaching hospital for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, or you are at BSA or friend and consort, you see, what they want to see is that for how long have you been doing this consistently? You read audiology under special education? Good. He said, you are qualified. This slide, please. So, you should not misrepresent. So, I will tell them up front. But some people, they want to tell you that they have audiologists in Manchester. What is it? I wanted to say Manchester United because I like football. University of Manchester. It's not University of Manchester, it's University of Ibadan. Like the lady, cleft person, that some people will say there is no speech therapist. You see, oh God, thank God for those institutions. Biola is not here. I agree with her. But there are some places that they don't want to know what you study. They want to know what you are trained for. This is it. Okay, you said you study something related to audiology. Fine, they will see your certificate. But have they trained you online, as in not online, as in during the work to handle hearing aid? Okay, for example, if hearing aids got spoiled today, is there anybody that can repair it here? No. If you study special education in the audiology department, you have masters, and you have gone to India, and I know those people in India, they have gone, and you know how to repair hearing aids. So, and you bought hearing aid of 750 and got spoiled, and you say you can do it. If somebody is from Owo or from Lautech, will they not give you to repair it, and you charge them 50,000 instead of traveling to you? That is it. What I'm saying is, it is the knowledge of the subject matter. That's why Prof was saying, if they say they are okay with the result, do you now want to introduce somebody that you are not sure whether he will deliver such a service at that level as that person has done it? So we are the one to sit tight and say, okay, how can I improve on my own? When I went to Abuja, I saw Wale. I stayed with Wale. Mapping. If you say mapping now, have I ever mapped before? Wale, how many mapping have you done? No, just give us. I've never done one. Now, for me to now say, because Wale showed me on the system that day, I've never done it. I can't misrepresent myself and say I've not done it. But if somebody now say, how many heads have you? I don't want to touch your head. I don't want to commit touchery. Like Baba Bello will say, we commit touchery in audiology. We are so happy then we are not married. You say, okay, it's good to commit touchery. This is my friend. If you say, how many heads have you touched and do tympanometry or audiology? When I say plenty, you know, mapping is something, it's not you do all the time. The head, 70, in fact, there was a day I touched a head of 110-year-old. I was happy. Even though my exam ori to 110, I can count more than 500 that I've done. So if somebody now wants to say that, talk on pure tone audiometry, I will talk. I will talk. So let's move on. Individuals shall avoid engaging in conflicts of interest, whereby personal, financial, we are getting to that place. Financial or other considerations have the potential to influence professional judgment on objectivity. You know, we talk of objectivity. That's the problem in our association. Prof has talked, but maybe I will use this opportunity to chip in what I want to discuss with us. Èèyàn kì í jẹ́ àwàdé, ẹnìkan kì í jẹ́ àwàdé. Ọ̀pọ̀ ènìyàn ló ń jẹ́ jànmọ́. Tó bá dé sí kan náà, àwàdé o kan tara jẹ ni, wà ní mo dé. Ẹ̀yin jànmọ́, nobody knows it all. But why we normally have conflicts is when you are now saying that I'm the only certified audiologist, man tara jẹ. You see, this thing we have, it is because Nigeria is like this. I was talking, somebody from Jos do not necessarily have to come to Ibadan to have this kind of meeting. There will be another one in that side that will be like SPAAN. In 50 states in the US, they have one for each state. So you don't have to travel 14 hours, 15 hours, except the one that encompasses the whole thing, that if you want to come. But that you won't have the opportunity to mix with people of your like mind in a year. So, rift among us. When people see that this person, this audiogram is done by Wale Okodero, you might say, I saw one audiogram one day. I shook my head. It tested all frequencies, even bone. Let me tell you, you don't have to do 250 on bone conduction. Do you normally do it? Well, even if it's on your system, you don't have to do it. Reason is that anything, any bone you are doing, you are just feeling it. You are not, it's not being hard though. If you place bone vibrator here and you are doing 125, even at 500, if you anything more than 60, the person did not hear it. Please, it's very, very important. And this thing, there is one Baba Odetoyibo of blessed memory. He was one that started ENT in Ife. He passed on not quite long this year. He died in a motor accident with the wife. He called me one day, said, Wale, can you tell us this audiogram? And I said so. He said, you can go. And that's the way that man, that's the way he thought. You just talk gently. He started ENT in Ife. His children, just two, they are in UK, doctors. Another one called me, Professor Jadola. Me, Bawa explain the audiogram. I was the one that did it. Because when it's just it's just do audiogram, you do it, just a button. If you see anything wrong with the audiogram or anything special about it, you know, if you have audiogram 250, 10, 510, 1010, 2010, 4010, 8010, is there anything special in that? Is there anything special? It's just normal. But you see an audiogram that is like peak, like doing like this. So the audiogram was normal, but the person is having tinnitus. What is tinnitus? Ring in the ear. And one SR said it's okay. And that prof just go and call the audiologist. Tell us, is this audiogram okay? Morning, well, it looks okay, but it's not okay. I don't know. The 8,000 depression, you know, he's having 20, and when it gets to 8,000, he has like 70 decibel. That one can, it's not even VO, it's not noise induced. That depression, you know, 20, even on 4 places, you know, it will be 20, it's normal. But it's having 70 on 8,000. That alone can cause ringing. And it won't be hearing. It's normal. But what we are saying is determined by high frequency, because that's where consonants are. And it gives meaning. I said, so this one can bless you for the tinnitus. Say, may God bless you. And that when that man says, God bless you, you know, he's really touched. So what I'm saying is, but in our own place, when your colleague has done something, you don't have to expose the person. You can call the person and say, okay, Mr. Jurongbe, you can tell she told me something one day. He said, be careful about the medical students. When you teach them, they want to learn sign language. You know, sign language is not really easy. It's because you know you think it's easy. You can eat from sign language alone. I have a friend that interprets for during election. He's in Abuja. I don't know whether you know the last Sunday. Adiyemi. He's the one that interprets. They want to know it, and by the time they know it, before they get it, they will be doing like this to you. After, it's a lie. In fact, to say sir, I can say sir to all my teachers. To say sir, they just say, hey, chief. I'll just look at them. One of them saw me one day, said, you were doing like this to the deaf people, and they were responding. He said, I'm happy that I know you. He said, just sign language. But that is what we don't normally value. So coming back to our code of ethics, as audiologists, when I get to interpersonal and interpersonal relationship, individuals shall not misrepresent research and scholarly activities, diagnose information. This one is easy for people. In UI, then they will tell us armchair research. You falsify it. You know that 7% of people are having hearing loss in Nigeria, and you didn't do anything. You just calculate it. There's a way. There's a way you can do it that you get that accurate permutation. Just 7% of people have, and you didn't do anything. It's wrong. That's why. Do you know there's a Nigerian that is in this COVID-19 that they tested that is effective in US now? What's the research? Sorry. There's one guy in Nigeria that is a Nigerian. Sir? Yes. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is this. People are not saying that, you see, it's a plus to Nigeria. Somebody, I like the comment when I see it on Facebook. He said, if the guy is in Nigeria, he won't develop that thing like that. Because our own research, it's not for promotion. Somebody can be on a research, and after that research, one or two can become a professor. But here, you look at my 14, anything goes. Next slide, please. Individual statement to the public shall provide accurate and complete. There shouldn't be anything disorder about the professional service product for sale and research. So you should not lie about what you want to sell for patients. Individuals shall not knowingly make false financial or non-financial statement and shall complete all material honestly and without omission. Next slide. Those are so the last one. Individuals shall uphold dignity and autonomy of the profession, maintaining collaborative and harmonious this is where I say I'm going. Interprofessional and interprofessional collaboration. This slide, please. So what we are saying is this: when we say interprofessional, like audiology and let's say physiotherapy, but when we are saying intra, between me and my sister, between me and Dr. Oluokun, how are we communicating? If there's something I don't know and he knows it, I asked Dr. Elemukan one day. I didn't know how to do free field audiometry. I didn't know it. I think that was 2006 or 7. I have the equipment, but I don't know. He said you use this meter, but it's on my audio meter. I asked him, I called him, he just said check. That's how it should be. But in a situation whereby if he had been my mate now and we are fighting, will I be able to do that? You won't be able to do that. The slide, please. So when we are talking about intra-professional, I want to talk about the way I deal with these people, which is very, very important. ENT people and other health workers in the hospital. I went somewhere with somebody, and you could see that when we are talking about with your patients and your research participants, audiology is not just to do tests and all that. When you are employed in a teaching hospital, you have to do research. When you have your private practice, for example now, if you have Ajanle Koko speech therapy, honestly, if you want visibility for your clinic, if it's just one autistic child you have, you know you can write, I love our president. You know there are some things you learn. It's not that I sleep in his house for 2 weeks, but I know he can take a pen, add a saw the paper. A child, an autistic child, you can write on him. He will publish it. And when he now say Ajanle Koko, everybody, look at this thing. If SPAAN has something like this is American Institute of Balance. It's giving free.